Okay, welcome to the Advanced Acrylic Painting class. Today we will be going over one-point perspective. Uh, I have some bullet points that I would like to, emphasize as we go into the project. One is vanishing point. That's a point within your composition where you want everything or all the objects to extrude back to. And that's a term that we use when we're dealing with one-point perspective. And then horizon line. Horizon line is the point where things go extrude back to again along with the vanishing point. So it could be a vanishing line along with the vanishing point is more of a direct location. Okay, and then we're going to talk about shades of different colors, depth, and also light source. Okay, so what I want you to do is we'll move to the next step and I'll let you know what we're going to do next. Okay, as I'm putting the tape on, the reason why I'm putting the tape on the edges here is for presentation purposes. It looks nicer when we're done with the project, and I'll show you the process. So what I want you to do is get a sheet of your canvas paper. If you have tape, it would be nice if you could tape the edges like you see here. Because what we want to do is we're going to blend colors together to create a background. Okay, so as I just went over briefly of what we're going to be doing, the first thing I need you guys to do is get your canvas paper. Get a straight edge. If you don't have a ruler, we want to hold our paper horizontally or landscape wide format, and then we want to draw a horizon line. So you could, this is kind of composition design, so you could have your horizon line high or you could have it low. I'm going to kind of have it right in the, like a third of the sheet of the paper. Just show you really quick what you need to do. Draw a line there, and then find your vanishing point. It's just a location where everything is gonna kind of meet or extrude back to create your perspective. So, you could put your VP there. So we got our horizon line and then we got our vanishing point. Now, like in the diagram I just showed, you should map out these shapes and extrude back to this vanishing point here, like I had drawn on this paper. So take a minute and draw out your shapes. They don't have to be perfect. It's more about the perspective extruding back to the vanishing point. As you can see here, I got 3 shapes below the horizon line, and then I have 3 shapes above the horizon line. Okay, do that and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so after you map out your one-point perspective shapes, 3 shapes at the bottom below the horizon line, and then 3 at the top above the horizon line. What you want to do is label your boxes. So what I did was I labeled the middle one yellow, this one here red, and this one over here blue. And at the above the horizon line, you got your orange, your purple, and your green. I labeled them so we could paint in the different shapes. you could start with any color that you would like, but what we're doing here is just paint in each color that you labeled onto your shape. Okay, so it should look something like this. Now, I'll tell you, I'm going to explain what I did here in the next. Okay, as you can see, I kind of went ahead of you guys and filled in the portion of the shape that extrudes back to the vanishing point. And what I did to get a lighter tint or shade or value of this red, yellow, blue, green, purple, and orange, I added white. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna mix up at least one of the boxes to show you. So what you want to do is just take each corner and extrude it back to the vanishing point here like that. You can cut it off if you wanted to, something like that. Okay. Paint in red. Well, this should be yellow, but I'm just showing you what the process was here. This exercise is to develop the idea of creating depth and illusion, 3D illusion with color. So we have our red, our true red that, you know, straight from the container here. And then when we, so we got our red here, red square. Okay, and the extruded part, since it's extruding back to the vanishing point, I also want to point out that we should identify a light source above the vanishing point. So I'm going to say my light source is here. So this light source is shining on these objects that are below the horizon line. Okay, so it's going to affect this portion of the shape that we got here. So how's it going to affect that? So if it's a white light shining on a red cube now instead of a red square, we're going to add some white to the red, because the white light shining on a red object creates pink. So I'm going to take a little bit of white, mix it on my plate. Just get enough, so enough mix there that you could fill in this area here. Once again, this is an exercise to build up your understanding, so when we do a full-blown painting and we have objects, when you map out your sketch composition-wise, you understand how your light source affects all your objects that you have in your composition, and then you're able to render it a little better. Okay, so fill in your lines nicely. So that's one example. I do have one that I finished up. Well, we're talking about shade, tint of color. We're talking about perspective. We're talking about vanishing point. We're also talking about composition. There's a lot of terms that we could refer to when we're doing this exercise. Once again, it's just understanding on how to mix your paint colors accurately based on how you map out your image that you want to create. Okay, you should have something like this. This exercise is to build on your knowledge of composition, shade, tint of color, how color reacts to different light sources, and how you're able to create depth within a two-dimensional image. Okay, we got our yellow, red, and blue at below the horizon line. That's a term that we use when we're creating a landscape. Vanishing point, when we want to take a square and make it, a cube, we have to identify the vanishing point, the horizon line, and to bring painting into this lesson, we have to, identify a light source. So this is our color here, yellow, and the light source affects the color because the light source is, we're going to say it's a white light, so it's shining on this cube. So that we got to, and we got to identify the color of the light source, and we're saying it's white, so white and yellow, we get a pale yellow, we get a pink, we get a lighter blue, and so forth. This is to build upon our next project that we will be doing, and I want to just show you an example of what we're going to be doing next. It's going to be a landscape image, but this is just one example that I started. We're going to take some letters and we're going to extrude them back to a vanishing point, and then we're going to, our horizon line, we're going to blend up and up to create a sky and to create an environment for the letters that you create. But this will be an open, free-form project once we cover the basis of the information that we need to create your letters in your environment. So we got 1 point perspective, we got horizon line, we got extruded letters, we got we're creating depth within the piece, but we'll get into a lot of details in the next class. Thank you for your time.